Good morning. We're going to get the show started here in, let's say 5 minutes, shall we? Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget that I love it when you get in the chat. I love it when you get in the texts. I love it when you have things to talk about. The text number, 601-557-CAT1. I gotta tell you, there's not going to be a prize pond today. I've been having troubles with the phone all week, and it's been working fine for the weeks leading up to this, but I can't figure it out. So I ordered a new thing that I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I think it's supposed to help. So I think next week we'll bring back prize pond. But if you just want to talk and chat and say good morning, you can either hop over to the live chat. I already see it's starting to hop. Oh my goodness already. Katie, Shelby, Mindy, good morning. But you can also shoot me a text at 601-557-CAT1. We'll get the show started here in just about 3 or 4 minutes. Stick around. Straight up, which means that it is time for the Morning Meowncements. I am your host, Nightcat. This is the kitsch-minded morning show to help you get ready for the day. I'm so happy that you're here. We've got an awesome show. We're going to dive into the Morning Mews to get you caught up on some pop culture headlines. And then we're going to dive into the book of unusual knowledge. But before we get into any of that, it is a new month. It is April 1st. Welcome to April. We did it. I just feel like I tried to think of a good prank to pull on you during the stream, and I thought about it a lot. And I just realized that the world has been pulling a prank on all of us for at least a year. Some of us it's been pulling pranks on for much longer. But for all of us, the world has been pulling pranks on us for at least a year. I didn't feel like it was right to do that to you. But that being said, oh, there it is. This is my old notebook. Here, it's a very gorgeous Hogwarts notebook. When you When you see me, I'm usually carrying some sort of notebook around. I take constant notes all the time. This is how I plan the show. I take notes about news stories. I come up with ideas for new bits. All the stuff that goes into Nightcat gets thrown first through these notebooks. And yesterday happened to be the last day of March, and it also happened to be the day that I filled up all of the pages in this notebook, which means it has to get stuck in the archive. And I'd like to introduce you to the notebook. It's a new month. It's a new notebook. It's a new me, honey. Boo! Oh, I love it. I love the little tabs. I love how they are the gals. Right up here, we've got Dorothy. That's Rose. That's Sophia and Blanche. And then each of them, the tabs, also has a quote. Go to sleep, sweetheart. Pray for brains. I love her. Oh, so good. Anyway, so if you're ever wondering what I'm always referencing while I tell you stories, it's this notebook here on the table. And the old Harry Potter one is out. We got a brand new one. It's full of interesting stuff already. Welcome to the age of the Golden Girls. The Golden Age is what we're going to call April of 2021. All right. I think I've done enough talking your ear off. I think it's time for the Morning Mews. The Morning Mews is the part of the show where I go through some top pop culture headlines so that you don't feel left behind when you get to work and school. I'm going to get you all caught up, honey. And let's start by talking about Rebel Wilson, who is by far one of my most favorite people. And it's hard for me to even fathom the idea of the movie Bridesmaids without Rebel Wilson in it. Especially that scene with her Mexican drinking worm tattoo. You know what I mean? I can't separate in my mind that movie with Rebel Wilson. They're one. Like, that's the thing that I knew her from first. Well, apparently, she was never supposed to be in Bridesmaids. A couple days ago, she was doing an interview with SiriusXM's The Jess Cagle Show. And she talked about how she auditioned for Melissa McCarthy's part in Bridesmaids, Megan. And she did not get Megan, but they were like, it came down to you two. It was so close. We think either one of you would have been an excellent choice, would have done a great job. So we want to write something for you. And they specifically wrote the part of the weird roommate's weird roommate's weird sister. I was like, which word do I put weird in front of? Both. All the words. The weird roommate's weird sister. They wrote that part specifically for Rebel Wilson because they loved her audition for Megan so much. Isn't that beautiful? So don't forget, I think that's a great lesson for all of us. One, get a reputable tattoo artist. Don't just hop into a van in the park or a van in the desert like some of us. But also, I think it goes to show that sometimes you are going to miss out on opportunities. You're not going to get chosen. You're not going to get picked for certain things. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you did badly or that you were a bad choice. All right? That just means that it wasn't your part. But there's going to be a part out there for you. And I'm not talking just like actors. I mean in general. Like just something to keep in mind to help keep the darkness from settling in. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, we're remaining positive! Moving on! A couple of days ago, I told you the story. There's been like a string of stalkers and robberies and burglars hitting celebrities in Southern California. It's just been like the spree of things happening. I don't think they're connected. I think it's all just sort of happening. Lady Gaga's dog walker got shot. Her dogs got kidnapped. Shawn Mendes, Camila Cabello got broken into. And I told you the story about how Kendall Jenner recently had a stalker who broke onto the property, banged on the windows at 2 a.m. Kendall, I'm here. Kendall, come out, say hi. And then tried to get naked and get into her pool. And then there was also the guy who could be released from a mental therapy hold, a mental health hold, a psych evaluation hold, I think is what they call it, any day now, who has said that his goal is to find Kendall Jenner, take her out. Oh, I shouldn't take down the Mexican drinking worm. His goal was to find Kendall Jenner, take her out, and then take himself out as well. And again, He is currently on a psychiatric hold, but that could be released at any moment. Like, you obviously can't hold someone unless they've already done something wrong. So, she has officially moved out of her house. She's like, that was it. I've had it. I'm so sick of this. I'm done. I don't know where she has moved to. I'm assuming probably not in the LA area, because I didn't know this. But back in 2017, she moved out of West Hollywood for the exact same reason. A string of stalkers and burglars and stuff kept hitting her house, and she felt unsafe and scared. So even though she's beefed up her security team, she is not staying at the house where she keeps getting broken into. Which, you know, fair. I get that. I also would not want to do that, Kendall Jenner. And there's not much I agree with the Kardashians about, so I'm glad we can find common ground here. And finally, a Washington State woman was devastated when her 19-pound cat went missing. So she's had this cat for a long time, loves this cat, it's like her best friend, and one day the cat up and vanishes. So she did the whole thing, she called neighbors, she knocked on doors, put up flyers, the whole gambit, right? And she was so devastated because nothing turned up, and it wasn't until 28 days later that she got any sort of update on the cat's whereabouts. I guess the house next door had been abandoned, and no one was living in it when the cat went missing. Well, a new family moved in, and they say that for 5 days they could hear meowing coming from somewhere inside the house, somewhere inside the walls maybe. So they invited her in to take a look, and she starts calling the cat's name, and they were able to find the cat lodged in the chimney. So the cat had been in the chimney for at least 5 days, possibly longer, and they speculate that maybe the cat was just got into the house, had gotten in and out of the house a bunch of times and didn't have a problem with it. And this time, because she was 19 pounds, she was just a little too thick around the middle to get back out her regular escape route, so she got trapped in the house. They immediately freed her from the chimney, took her to the vet. The vet found that she had lost 7 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot when you think about humans, but, you know, when you're a 19-pound cat and a third of your body weight goes missing, that's dramatic in a month. But other than that, it looks like she's going to be fine. By the way, the cat's name is Piper. So Piper just got too big and chunky and got Winnie the Pooh'd right into that chimney, the poor baby. I'm just glad that she's doing okay and that she's back with her owners, but this is why my cats can't go outside anymore. Freddy used to be a real outside monster. He loved it out there. He used to go out, kill small animals, beat up the other cats, just regular degenerate behavior, and that has since stopped because he went out and he beat up the neighbor's cat, and the neighbor's cat's been outside hanging out and sunning on the porch for way longer than Freddy has been here. So I feel like that's her spot, and since he can't play nice with her, he's not allowed outside. Cats, I'll tell you. And that is the Morning Mews. Before we continue, I would like to quickly plug a couple of things. Thank you to everyone who has joined our Patreon. Patreon patrons, that's not right. There we go. Patreon. Patreon patrons are the reason we can keep doing this. We're the reason that the show stays on the air. This is a small monthly fee. You can pledge either $3 or $5. It's just debited directly from your account. I take that money, I reinvest it into the show, and, you know, pay some of my bills and stuff with it. So if you would like to help keep Nightcat running big and strong and ready to roll, join the Patreon, patreon.com/nightcatshow. If you're looking for a good reason to join the Patreon, let me tell you, our True Crime Companion podcast episodes, Curiosity Killed Nightcat, Patreon patrons get those a whole week ahead of everyone else. So if you want access to those true crime episodes, tomorrow episode 1 drops on Nightcat Radio for everyone, but episode 2 is dropping for the patrons. So if you would like to get in on that, patreon.com/nightcatshow. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget, True Crime walking tour tickets of downtown Salt Lake City are still available. I'm going to take you around to some of the coolest, most scariest buildings in Salt Lake City, tell you about the horrible things that happened there, and we'll stop for some drinks and some foods and some good times along the way. I went out and I actually measured it a couple days ago, like did the whole walk, timed it out, looked for other points of interest. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. I found so much cool stuff we can talk about the whole time. It's gonna be awesome. So make sure you get in on that. Go down to the link tree in the description of this video. It's gonna say linktr.ee/JacksonWitt. Click on that link tree and then look for the true crime walking tour of downtown Salt Lake City tickets. All right. I think it's time then for us to get into the book of unusual knowledge. Oh, by the way, I was about to adjust my glasses. I'm not wearing any. I have always just got my glasses at the eye doctor like a chump, like a dummy. I didn't realize that you could get let me tell you, usually I budget about $120 every other year to get new glasses, okay? Because that's how much, allegedly, they cost at the eye doctor. Well, my roommate told me about Zenny's Optical online. I got 8 pairs of glasses for the same price that I pay normally for 1 pair of glasses. So get ready. I'm gonna decorate this face for a while, and then I'll actually look scholarly. But the Book of Unusual Knowledge, if you aren't familiar with it, if you're not a regular Nightcat viewer, welcome aboard. The Book of Unusual Knowledge is basically a bathroom reader. It just contains lists of fun facts, articles, stuff you might not have known before. And this story is absolutely bonkers. This is from Canada. This is Canada's Cryptic Castaway. On September 8th of 1863, 2 fishermen in Sandy Cove, Nova Scotia, discovered an unusual treasure had washed ashore. A lone man in his 20s with newly amputated legs had been left there with a loaf of bread and a jug of water. Talk about nightmare fuel. I don't even know what I would do if I came. Just a random guy, no legs, only a loaf of bread. I'd be like, you seem to be going through a lot. I'm gonna let you deal with this. I'm gonna go find a different deserted island. Bye. Because whatever did that to him might be coming back to do it to me, buddy. And I need to get out of there. There were a few clues as to who this guy was. Just that, like, his manner of dress mostly is what tipped them off. It led all of the local townspeople to believe that he was, like, an aristocrat, because he was dressed kind of fancy, albeit no legs, bottle of water situation. But there was no point in asking him his backstory because he did not speak. Apparently, after he was discovered, he only ever said 3 words. The first word was Jerome, which is what everyone started calling him, which is very funny because that's the name of the alien over there. Jerome the alien. Jerome the legless mute. So that was one thing. That's what everyone started calling him, was Jerome. Colombo, which perhaps was the name of a ship that he was on, is what everyone wanted to believe. And Trieste, which is an Italian village. So based on those 3 words, everyone just started dazzling these beautiful fake stories about where Jerome might have come from. They're like, oh, he's an Italian nobleman whose ship got lost or taken over by pirates and he was left to die. I'll tell you, pirates don't generally... That's serial killer behavior. Take your legs, leave you with just enough to get by for a while you are in agony about your legs. No, thank you. That's not pirates' MO. Pirates will just throw you right off the boat, call it a day. They got, I don't know, salty dogs and decks to scrub. I have no idea. They have their own thing going on. This is serial killer behavior. This is bad news. In 1870, the town rallied together and paid, there was a family in town called the Comeau. The whole town rallied together and told the Comeau family that they would pay them $140 a year to take him in and take care of him. Which sounds great, right? Because finally, like, so this guy's getting a break. Someone's gonna take him in, make sure he's fed, make sure he's taken care of. On Sundays after Mass, locals would stop by and pay a few cents to look at the maimed mute. Oh yeah. So the Comeaus, not only were they bringing in money from the town, they were also opening up a little side freak show. Like, hey, come look at this guy. He don't talk much, but he ain't got no legs, and he was found stranded on an island. The things people do for money, it's disgusting. Though he never spoke intelligibly, hearing certain words, very specifically the word pirate, would send him into a rage. It is also said that he was not a fan of the cold weather, so he spent his winters with the leg stumps shoved under a stove for warmth. So he used to like go out and like not talk, but you know, be social, be in the mix. But the last 20 years of his life, apparently he was a real hermit, and he didn't want to go outside, he didn't want to go near the sun, anything like that. He just stayed with his stumps shoved under the oven. It's just so sad. I feel so bad for this guy. So there's a group of scholars who recently uncovered a story in New Brunswick about a man who was behaving erratically and couldn't or just wouldn't speak, chose not to speak. So in order to get rid of him, they put him on a boat to New England and they chopped off his legs. The man may have never made it to New England, but instead wound up on a beach at Sandy Cove. There was another theory that suggests that a man was found who was found in 1861 pinned under a fallen tree in New Brunswick. The tree fell, the legs froze, they took the legs. They sent him down the river for treatment somewhere else. They sent him back, and he just sort of got bounced from place to place until they think maybe he landed on the beach in Nova Scotia. So there are a couple guys that this could be, because apparently in the 1800s in Canada and America, we made it a habit of just chopping guys' legs off and sending them down the river on a boat. Just crazy. And that's the story of Canada's cryptic castaway from the Book of Unusual Knowledge. Alrighty. Oh, I think it's time then. We gotta check in with our caterpillars. The caterpillar cam. Let me just twist this so we can see more caterpillars. There we go. So these were our caterpillars, painted lady butterflies. Hopefully we'll be springing out of these caterpillars. I know they don't look a whole lot bigger. It's hard to get them to show on camera, but I'm telling you, these things are at least twice the size they were when I first got them. They are big monsters, and right now they're kind of boring because they don't move around a whole lot. Basically what they're doing is they're growing very, very quickly. So they go down into the milkweed, that's the stuff on the bottom, and they eat as much as they can, and they find somewhere, fall asleep, shed their old skin, and then go back to eating, sleeping, shedding. Eating, sleeping, shedding. Otherwise known as molting, excuse me, if you're going to be all technical about it. But they're not terribly fun right now. I'm mostly excited for cocoons. I can't wait for cocoons. I'm told that in the brochure that we got with them, because we got a whole little kit, we should be expecting cocoons about 10 days after arrival. 10 to 13, they said. They got here 2 days ago, so I'm expecting probably by next Friday we'll have cocoons, even if not even a little bit sooner, we might have some cocoons. But there's our babies. Oh, I love it. Don't forget, at some point after these guys hatch, we're going to take them out to the park and release them in beautiful butterflies. So I hope to see you over at the park. Let's check in with the chat before we get going, huh? What is that? How do you feel? Oh, good morning, Lindy. Good morning, Marissa, Zizor, Nathan, Kryn. 28 days later. So, Zizor, like I said, I don't know that the cat was stuck in the chimney for 28 days, but the cat was stuck in the chimney for at least 5 days. So I do think it might have been a zombie. I think this is a pet cemetery situation. I think she found her cat, buried him, and he came back to life, and she was just like, oh yeah, he was in the neighbor's chimney. Some things are left dead. Some things are better off dead, you know? Lissy, boo-hoo. Good morning, Lissy. Oh, I buy direct. Good to know, Katie. I haven't tried them before. I've never ordered glasses online because I have really bad astigmatism in both eyes, and they used to not sell cheap glasses to people like us because our frames apparently are different. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm an optometrist, but I was just always told that it was going to be too hard and too expensive to make my glasses online every time I tried, so I never tried. But technology now is amazing. 8 pairs of glasses, $120. Absolutely bonkers. I don't know if Zenny's has monocles, Zizor. I have no idea. I don't know who has monocles. You might have to get a time machine and go back. I don't know that I've ever seen a monocle in real life. The only monocle that I'm very familiar with is the Monopoly guy monocle. I know that he has one, so maybe ask him. I don't know. If you actually find out where to get monocles, will you please message me? I'm curious now. Not that I need one. I'm bad in both eyes, but I'd like to know what a monocle could do for me, and if I need one, where I could get it. All right. I love talking to you. Good morning. I love when you get into the chat and say hi. We did Caterpillar Camera, Book of Unusual Knowledge. We talked about the walking tours. We did Morning Mews. New notebook, new me, new month. Hey, tell me in the live chat or comment on this video what you're planning on doing this April to make it the best April ever. Because remember, last year was awful. We're doing better this year. We're all trying. So tell me the thing that you're doing to make it a little bit better. Number 2, let me tell you here what's been going on here. Number 1, I get my second dose of vaccine in like a week and a half. So I'm going to be ready to rumble again. I can't wait. I'm going crazy. Like, Rona has really like messed with me emotionally. I'm a very social person. I hate not being able to go out and see everyone. I hate not being able to do things. I hate having to tell everyone no because I'm scared that if I get coronavirus again, it'll kill me because it's been so bad for me so many times. And by so many times, I mean twice, but it's still enough for me to never want to do it again. It makes me feel like a bad guy when I tell my friends like, no, I don't want to. And I tell people, no, I don't want to hang out, not because I am, judging them or telling them that they're bad people for going out or anything, just that I know it's worse for me. I know what my limits are. I know that there are certain, like, I won't go to a bar. I won't go to a restaurant because you take your masks off there. I understand that it can be distance and safe and everything, but it's just not for me. But I also feel like a real bad guy. I feel like a real turd because I'm telling other people I won't do it, and it makes them feel like I'm judging them for doing it. And listen, I'm not judging you. You got to do what you got to do to get through this thing. But soon it won't be an issue. Soon we can go back to being normal. We're at the tail end of it. So just keep doing the right thing for a little while longer. But in April, that second dose of vaccine, that's really going to change a lot of things for a lot of us. So I hope that you're also on board with getting that. April also, I plan on keep looking for jobs. I guess there's a lot going on. So big month ahead for me. Oh, we've got the true crime walking tours coming up at the end of April. I'm looking forward to that. That's a good way to make this the best month ever, is to end it with some true crime. New episodes of Curiosity Killed Nightcat will be dropping every Friday starting in April, so that's something to look forward to. Some really good stuff. I'm excited. I hope we all have a fantastic April. I think Easter Sunday is this Sunday. There's that to look forward to. So tell me again in the live chat or in the comments of this video what you're looking forward to, how you're planning on actively making this the best April of your entire life. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget you can find the audio for every episode of the Nightcat Show, whether that be Morning aMEOWncements or the weekly show Nightcap with Nightcat. The audio for everything is up on the Nightcat Radio podcast. Look for it on your favorite podcast directory. If you're on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave me a review, honey. New episode of Curiosity Killed Nightcat, the first ever episode dropping tomorrow for everyone on Nightcat Radio. Episode 2 dropping for Patreon patrons. Don't forget to go check out episode 13 of Nightcap with Nightcat. That dropped last night. And I know I say this all the time, but I really do think it's some of my best work. It's a very good episode. It's episode 13, so I decided to do it haunted, spooky vision. So go check it out. It's available right now. I think you're gonna love it. Thank you so much. Tell your friends and subscribe to this show if you haven't already. Go like this video. Hey, right now, I'm not showing you my fish until you go like this video. Go like this video, and then we can talk. Huh? Go like the video. That would be really great. Leave a comment on the video as well. I'm gonna let the fish take over because I feel like now I'm just sort of talking in circles. So take it away, fish. Here are your 3 minutes of fish. Have a great day.